would stand for the opening prayer and pledge.
Father in heaven, bless us as we gather today for this meeting. Guide our minds and hearts so that we will work for the good of our community. Teach us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. Thy will be done. Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call this Hancock County Commission to order. This 7th day of July 2016. If you would please turn off all cellular devices, especially Ms. Pettit. Okay. Item 1, approval of minutes. Approval of County Commission minutes for June 23rd, 2016.
So move to approve.
Have a motion on the floor. Discussion, corrections to the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Citizens' presentations. We have 3 today. First one, Danford, McIntyre, Simon, Hancock County Animal Shelter Foundation. Ladies, I don't know who's speaking or what or all. If you would, step up to the mic, state and spell your name, please, for the media.
My name is Ruth Ann Danford, D-A-N-F-O-R-D. I've been on the board of directors for the Animal Shelter Foundation for over 20 years now, but at this time I'm serving as co-treasurer. My goal today is to clear up any question on the financial accountability on the part of the foundation. We have been slammed by the press, or in the press I should say, for not providing information. And I just want to explain how we have been doing things. All documentation is provided for reimbursements to the foundation. We provide a copy of the invoice that we get. We provide a copy of the check unless it's an electronic transfer. And I also provide a copy of the bank statement, and it's highlighted where that money came out. Is that not right? You guys get that every month. So for every amount of money that you reimburse us for, you have all those statements. The documentation is remitted on Friday, a week before the meeting, for approval. Every cent that the commission has reimbursed us for is accounted for. In 2010, then President Ron Shaw received a letter from Mark Schwartzmiller requesting a yearly audit. After receiving that letter, the foundation did have an audit done for 2009 and every year since then. Those audits were sent to the commission as soon as they were completed, and every one of our audits has been clean with absolutely no findings. Our 990 tax returns must be completed before the audit is done, and we have had to take extensions, which were filed by our accountant and legally granted by the government. The commission also receives copies of our 990 tax returns every year, which lists how much money we spent on operating expenses, veterinary bills, medical supplies, and payroll during the year, how much money we took in, and the breakdown of how we acquired that money, the names of our board members and directors, and other pertinent information. Mr. Lucas recently informed us that the commission did not receive copies of 2013 and 2014 audits. I advised him that I had delivered those to the courthouse as soon as they were completed. Our taxes for 2015 are not yet completed, and we did take an extension. So therefore, the audit for 2015 will not be done yet. The foundation met with all 3 commissioners in February, and we did discuss the fact that the audits were costing us up to $4,000 apiece, and that I had called the Secretary of State, and because our organization deals with less than $500,000 a year, a financial review was acceptable, which only runs around $1,000. The money received from the commission is actually audited twice. It's audited in their books, and then it's audited again in our books. At the time, they told us to continue having yearly audits, but at no time in that meeting did they mention that you had not received audits from 2013 and 2014. Why in God's name would we spend all that money on an audit and then not give it to you? To my knowledge, I do not have any correspondence at all documenting a request for any other additional information. So I'm not sure where the accusations of a lack of accountability originated and why they were only addressed now instead of when they happened.
Finished?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay.
I'm Carrie McIntyre, CARIMCINTYRE, Secretary for the Hancock County Animal Shelter Foundation. I've also been with the board over 20 years now. In light of the recent events transpiring at the shelter, a group of people started a petition several weeks ago requesting an extension on the current shelter contract. As elected officials, we need to believe that you want to acknowledge these views. So even though the county has taken over the shelter, we feel an obligation to represent the views of these people. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of signatures on these petitions, and we would like them filed as a matter of record.
That's not a problem. If you would, give that to our legal counsel there for review, and it will be duly noted.
Thank you. Because of our extensive past with protecting animals in this county, many people are now approaching us with specific questions on how you will run the shelter. You have publicly made statements that you will be able to run the shelter better than the foundation did, with less euthanasia and only euthanizing aggressive or extremely ill animals. With that in mind, people are asking us, do you realize that the low euthanasia rates that you're talking about encompass all animals that enter the shelter and not just healthy ones? And are you also including cats in those numbers?
Ms. McIntyre, if you have any questions, I would just suggest that you submit them in writing to the commission, and they will respond.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I go through this at least and then?
If you wish,
Okay,
that's fine.
all right. Do we also realize that all animals must enter the shelter for identification purposes and not be adopted out prior to coming into the shelter, because this has happened in the past on occasion? We're wondering if you will be performing any testing or flea treatment prior to animals entering the shelter, if you'll be providing any vaccinations. Will you now be treating sick animals, and what constitutes a sick animal that can be treated versus one that cannot? Are you considering skin conditions, animals with upper respiratory problems, or kennel cough treatable? If an animal comes in with a mass or a growth on their side, will this be assessed or considered to be untreatable and the animal euthanized? What about cats with FIV? If someone brings in their animal to be euthanized because of behavioral problems such as urinating in the house, are you going to be providing education, or is that cause to euthanize those animals? Will you take the word of the person bringing in the animal as far as someone who's claiming an aggressive animal? Will you make your own assessment, or are you going to bring in an outside entity, one that's not affiliated with anyone in the county, to make that assessment? Is breed a deciding factor? If someone brings in what seems to be a semi-feral cat in a cage, how long of an assessment period are you giving that animal before deeming it acceptable for adoption? Where will stray animal pictures be posted? Do you have a Facebook page? If the humane officer is running the shelter, will you be hiring in her place so that those duties are not ignored? Do you plan on holding off-site adoptions? Do you plan on continuing the monthly low-cost spay and neuter clinics that the foundation now offers? What about the TNR programs and the seminars for feral cats? Education for the public and in the schools? Where can the public obtain information from the shelter as far as records about intake and euthanasia records? Is there a planned budget for the takeover? Is this available to the public? And lastly, what is your position on the levy money that remains from the prior levies that were written to the Hancock County Animal Shelter Foundation? And I can submit that in writing.
Good.
Thank you.
I'm Pam Zagola. I'm an attorney in Weirton. My name is not formally on the agenda, but Mike Simon was not able to be here today. I've been working with him, and I asked permission to speak on behalf of the Animal Shelter Foundation. I would like to ask the commission, because we have heard a lot of different comments made to me on the telephone, to others on the telephone, to members of the press. We would like, and I would like, this commission to tell us today, what is your position on euthanasia? I don't feel we should have to submit that question in writing to you, because you already know that's a burning question that we all have. All of the taxpayers have. We voted for a levy for a shelter to be run with a low kill or no kill rate. Mr. Barnaby has stated to the press his intentions to run a low kill shelter. Mr. Schwartzmiller has likewise done that. I believe Mr. Davis has told many people that he doesn't have any intention to kill animals. So a lot of this media frenzy, some of which was offensive to the commission, and I get that because being in public office, this does happen, but it's a passionate issue when animals' lives are at stake. We would like you as a commission to just tell us, and it would alleviate a lot of everybody's questions in the media, what is your position on euthanasia?
Well, Ms. Zagul, I think you just said that they've already answered it, though.
Mr. Lucas, I'm asking this commission if they are willing to give us at this meeting with these taxpayers the answer that we all want to know. Are you advising your clients not to tell us that?
No, I'm advising that they've already answered it. You just stated their positions
They have
on
said
the record.
individually, they have not stated it on the record.
Yeah.
They have stated it to the media. I'm asking this elected board, this elected county commission to tell all these people here, what is your position on euthanasia?
They will gladly give that along with everything
What
else.
is, are you not willing to answer that today?
They will gladly give that along with everything else, Ms. Zagul.
So the county commissioners, your elected county commissioners, refuse to speak and answer this question today?
No, that's not correct.
They're not answering it, Mike.
They've already answered it, Pam, and they will gladly give that along with everything else, perhaps a mission
Well,
statement.
what was the answer? What was the answer?
You just said it.
I said they individually said things to individuals on the telephone. What
Ma'am,
is the answer of this commission about
They've
euthanasia?
already given that. Quite frankly, I thought they sounded similar. But if you want a joint answer,
I do.
and that's what we're providing on all the questions that were submitted, you will get that.
Okay, so again,
We'll add that to the list.
Mr. Barnaby, will you tell us your position on euthanasia?
Ms. Zagul, I've already answered the question for you.
The answer is no, he won't.
Mr. Schwartzmiller is the president. He's running the meeting. If
Mr.
there's any question today,
Schwartzmiller,
and
would
I've
you
already
tell
stated
us your
This
position?
is a citizens' presentation part of the agenda. You need to present to us. This is not a questions and answer session. If you have questions and answers, put them in writing and we will answer them.
All right, so we will put them in, we are going to put that question in writing to you, and when will we get that answer?
Well, it depends on how many questions are overall asked.
One
It's an
question,
addition.
what is your position on euthanasia? When will you answer it?
We'll get it to you as soon as they can.
You'll get it to us.
I'm not going to bind the hands of the commission on something like
I'm
this. And this-
asking them, they're right here.
This is not a courtroom. It's not a deposition. It's on interrogation. I've given the answer.
I'm not interrogating,
And you've
I'm
already gotten
asking.
answers. My goodness, these gentlemen have done how many interviews?
What's the
with
answer?
the media. You've
They
got
are
answers.
elected officials that are refusing. Just tell us. Tell us your position.
It's already been answered.
What
Pam,
was
do you
the-
have anything else?
I want to know the answer, Mike.
It'll be as the lease indicate. It'll be in compliance with West Virginia Code. They've already stated it. You've said their own answers on the record.
So for the record, everybody here sees our commission refuses to answer the question about euthanasia. We have no idea what their position is.
And that's incorrect because they've already told you before.
They didn't tell
You're-
me. They didn't tell these
They've
people
told the
here.
entire public through the media what it is.
So is that how our county commission runs? They're going to run through the media and not at a meeting? Why are we here?
Pam, I've already explained it to you. If you want a formal answer, from
I
the commission,
do.
then we've taken the position.
I
we're gonna
demand
an-
a formal
all
answer as a
answers
taxpayer.
As a body of the commission will be answered with everything else and submitted in writing, and they will do that. I'm promising you that.
Okay, can you please tell me where I send my question, who I send it to? Where do I send my question?
Just here to the county commission office. You
Who
can send it
do
along
I
with Ms.
direct it to?
McIntyre's questions.
Who do I direct
County
it to?
commission. You're asking it from the county commission. You send it to the county commission.
And when will I get an answer?
As soon as we can.
As soon as you can?
Yes.
You don't know the answer yet?
We do. Pam, I'm telling you, we're going to answer all the
Mr.
questions at
Lucas,
once.
do you know the answer about this commission's position on euthanasia?
Yes,
you
I
wrote
do.
You wrote
Yes,
the new
I do.
contract.
Yes,
you
I do.
wrote it.
So we will answer everything at once.
Do
And
you
it's
know
not-
the answer?
Pam, yes, it's not a deposition.
And what is the answer?
I'm going to answer them all at once.
Okay,
We're
so
not going to
Mr.
make
Lucas
exceptions
likewise
to any
refuses
other
to answer.
questions.
All right, thank you
That's
very
our
much for
position.
making it clear the position of this commission and how it's going to operate with its taxpayers.
That's incorrect.
Kay Mortimer.
My name's Kay Mortimer. It's Mortimer. And from what I just heard, there's no sense in me even speaking because none of you are going to give me a straight answer on anything. The press comes out with one version as to what's going to happen with these shelters, what you're going to do with the animals. Then on another article, it comes out and it states something totally different. We have heard so many versions of what's going to happen to these animals as to whether they're going to be euthanized, whether they're not, what care is going to be taken. Nothing has really been answered directly as to why now after 20 years that you all are taking over. I can only assume why you're doing this. To me, it's immaterial, to tell you the truth. The factor is that the public is not happy about hearing whether it's rumor or whether it's confirmed about the euthanasia of an animal. We are not in agreement with that. It was not stated, which I have a copy of what we voted on in the paper on the levy. Nothing was in there about taking over and doing anything any different. But in the newspaper, and I brought every one of the articles highlighted in the newspaper as to all this conflicts. Yes, we are. No, we aren't. Yes, after 5 days, we have to follow state law. All of this has been brought out in the newspaper. Who do you believe? We have never, ever seen anything in writing, and I said to you earlier, put it in writing. This is it, black and white. This is what the commission's going to do, and print it in the newspaper. All of these rumors will stop. The public will calm down as long as you're going to do the right thing. You have to keep your public informed. And when you say things have been addressed, it's already been answered in the paper. It has not, because I can show you right now in these papers conflicts as to, no, we're not going to put them down, which is what you said earlier. Well, then again, it states on another one, yes, because we have to follow the law. Well, there's a fine line on law, and most of us are not attorneys. So how we interpret it and how y'all interpret it as the law, to put down after 5 days, can be a broad spectrum. And you can get around doing what you're wanting to do in any way you see fit. I'm just saying, please give us the courtesy to put something in the paper from the commissioners, plain black and white, as to what your intents are. That's all we're asking for. Thank you.
Thank you. Carroll Village.
I'm not here today to point any fingers. I'm just supporting my letter that I sent you stating how I oppose the state code of 5 days. I think an animal deserves a little more time than that. However, I was glad to see in the paper that they had the sale and they found homes for animals. And then yesterday's article was even brighter when they said that you're looking in the future for a no-kill shelter. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address this commission today?
I would like to say one other thing. Only as rebuttal to what this woman just said, there is a misinterpretation of the state law going on here. I don't believe anybody thinks that our state legislature intended to kill animals in 5 days. And when that was put in the contract, the original contract had a very short sentence about euthanasia, and the new contract that was presented by Mr. Lucas and this commission had pages of information about euthanasia, which is why everybody became upset. So again, we do not believe that is the state law, and we don't believe compliance with state law requires killing an animal in 5 days or in any number of days. And Mr. Simon and Mr. Lucas had a contract negotiated, and this commission turned it down. After what's been said to me today, I'm not sure how much of that is true or false. All I do know is that I don't believe our state legislature believes in euthanasia. We will be working hard with the state legislature to clarify any laws so there is no question that no county, state, or other body is required to kill an animal. And that's all I have to say today. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the commission?
I'd like to make a comment. My name's Mary Ann Reese. I'd just like to say, 20 years ago, I spent that many years with Hancock County Humane Society. And since then, since the foundation has taken over, I don't think anybody here understands why, after such a well-run, efficient animal shelter with such a low kill and such good intents, they've worked with spay and neuter clinics out of state. I mean, the program has been flawless. And Carrie McIntyre is a personal friend of mine, plus a coworker. I don't know anybody that has a better integrity, work ethics, and passion for animals as Carrie. And, you know, just as a tax-paying citizen, as somebody who's been involved in animals with Hancock County many years myself, I came here today to represent what I believe has been a wonderful, well-run animal foundation, and none of us understand why this is happening. Why is something being destroyed that doesn't need to be fixed? Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address?
I volunteered at the old shelter in 1990, 91, 92, 93, 94, and it was a hellhole. Those animals all go to heaven because they've been already to hell. And to see the county to take over what everybody has built, it's just something we ought to all be ashamed of. Ashamed. And that's all I want to say. Ashamed.
Anyone else like to address the commission? If not, I'd like to thank everyone for speaking today. And I rest assured that all your comments will be digested, and more importantly, all your questions will be answered.
In what manner?
And
In what manner? How will we get the answer?
you will get them in a written form. Moving along, correspondence, we didn't have any. New business, County Commission, approval of Cole Severance Budget Revision Number 1 for fiscal year 16-17.
Move to approve.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion? This is simply, gentlemen, it's in your packet. It's just an adjustment from the unencumbered balance going from $5,000 to $12,000. And just to remind everyone that the Cole Severance money is simply used for postage for Hancock County and mailbox room. No further questions. Call for a vote.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Item 2, approval of grant agreement with the West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources, Bureau for Children and Families, grant for FY 16-17 on behalf of the Juvenile Mediation Program.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Item 3, approval of resolution to confirm closures of Plum Alley and Vine Alley in New Manchester.
Move to approve.
Discussion? Gentlemen, I have a question.
Was there a matter of tabling that in order to, there was some additional information I think that the commission had previously indicated it wanted to take a look at. So
That's
This is
my
a
question.
reminder. that
Yeah,
I think
do we have all the paper documentation in place?
At this point, no, not everything you wanted to see. You had issued, I would just say to the commission that, or at least one of you had indicated perhaps tabling it might be an option.
Okay. Move to rescind my motion.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
New motion?
Move to table the resolution before the commission.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion is tabled. County Commission 4, approval of reappointment of John Sereni and the appointment of Walter Ruskowski to the Northern Panhandle Workforce Investment Board of Directors effective July 1st, 2016.
Move to approve.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 3-0. County Clerk requesting approval for a hearing for the removal of an executrix of an estate.
Move to approve and set a date.
I think there are parameters, George, isn't it? 30 days. Yeah, so
What does August 18th look like? Immediately following the commission meeting. I think that hits the parameters on both sides.
the motion is August 18th.
I'll motion to set the hearing for August 18th in the 3 o'clock range immediately following the county commission meeting. And that's that. That's how we've done it in the past.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Got that addendum. We should do that here.
Oh, okay, I made notes. Dog warden C, approval of the June. Oops. Back to county clerk, we have an addendum was left off there. I'd like to put an addendum item on there. And simply the addendum would be, because of time parameters, we need to move voting precinct 21. So that's the item.
Move to approve.
Discussion.
Yeah, the reason that this precinct's being moved, they voted 2 precincts at the Hancock County Sheltered Workshop. They had asked for extra patrol through the parking lot. We gave it to them, and there still was an accident there, and so they decided to vote only 1 precinct there. We've struggled finding a precinct within that precinct 19, and just here about an hour ago, contacted Weir High School, and they will be more than willing to take on that precinct. That's why you're getting an addendum. And we had till July 11th, so we're going to take the action today.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Precinct 21 will move to Weir High School. And item D, Office of Technology and Communications, 1, requesting approval to hire part-time and full-time workers for the Hancock County Animal Shelter effective July 1st, 2016.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the June 2016 monthly report.
Move to approve the dog warden's report for June of 2016.
Discussion? I don't know why I even looked. This was in the first one. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Miscellaneous probates and estates.
Move to approve as presented.
Discussion? No discussion. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Library levy fund bills and requisitions.
We had receipts from 2 libraries, Lynn Murray and the Swaney Library. They're okay to pay.
Move to approve.
I notice we don't have any animal shelter ones on here, and since you are here, I need to give someone a packet before you leave. I was going to bring. I said there are no approval of the animal shelter.
Yeah, we usually do that at the second.
Okay, but for some reason I received some documentation I just wanted to share with you.
Oh.
Okay, I'll do that at the end. Approval of library levy rates.
Move to approve.
I was, yeah.
We did that. Okay.
Okay. All in favor?
Need to vote.
Vote. Call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Elected official comments. Employee comments. Ms. Busick, anything?
We have 5 strays that have been brought into the shelter, 5 surrendered by owner dogs, and we have had 4 cats brought in as strays.
Any been adopted?
No,
No.
not yet.
Okay. So they're all still there.
They're all still there.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lucas?
Nothing today.
Sheriff?
Just a reminder, the Weirton Greek Orthodox Church is holding their festival, and if you want good cookies, don't wait till Saturday; they'll be all gone. I speak from experience.
Anything else, Sheriff?
So,
Thank you. Who else do we have here? Carol? Miss Carol?
Sure. Camp is coming up the week after next. Saturday night is the final night council circle. The commission and any elected officials would like to join us. Please do so. Get there about 6:30. Get to be able to take part in our evening festivities. We would love to have you there to be able to see what we do. I think programmatically this is going to be an incredibly strong camp. I think it's going to be 12 tons of fun for the kids. We only have room for very few campers. We have very few spots left. So if you know of any kids ages 9 up, we'd love to have them at camp. Energy Express is going well in the 2 sites. We're very pleased with that, and our Clover by Day camp will be the first week of August. So I've got 2 interns, and we are just full tilt over there, getting ready for everything and having a great time doing so. So thank you again for all of your support, and we look forward to having just an awesome camp. So in 2 weeks at your next meeting, I'll be at camp. I'll be having more fun than probably most people, but that's okay.
You trying to hide? Jeremy?
I don't have anything today.
911?
Good.
Salidas?
I would just like to give a shout out to the sheriff and Jeremy for the work they did collecting goods and things for the people in downstate West Virginia. Hope nobody in this room forgets them because they severely need our help.
George? Commissioners?
I'll keep mine short. I'd like to commend Nicole Faluzas and Bob Vitus for turnover on Friday at the animal shelter. I understand you took a difficult task and made it well. I know there's a lot of work ahead of you to get it to where you would like to be as a personal person in charge, and hopefully everything that you need we can accommodate you with. I have full faith in you that our euthanasia rate will be as low as possible. That meaning sick dogs, injured dogs, sick animals, injured animals, or ordered animals that are put down. And I hope that we can continue that process. And I have full faith in you that you will do that. You have my support, and I believe it's up to the other commissioners for what they need to say. It's the 4th of July, so that's it for me.
Commissioner?
Well, it's no secret. First of all, I'd like to thank Bob and Nicole
You guys worked out there over the weekend. We had some volunteers, so hats off to them and to you for what you've done. But there's no secret here. I do want to comment on one of the questions, and I feel this is nothing new that hasn't been said 100 times out of my lips. All right. The Commission's intent, same as some people have said the legislative intent. There's never intent to kill animals. All right? And I have no problem in saying that, and I will say that now. I've said it for the last 3 weeks, and I'll continue to say it. All right. The Commission has never had any intentions of killing any animals. As Ms. McIntyre answered last week, the County Commission has never asked you to euthanize an animal in my 16 years here. So the faces have not changed here, and the intent will not change. And I'm very happy to say that. And I think we'll continue to work for the best of the animals of the county. That's all I have to say today.
Believe it or not, I really welcome the callers today and their suggestions. I wish Mrs. Mormer wouldn't have left. I wanted to really address her rationale there. And I think myself and this commission is looking forward to answering those questions for the entire county and tri-state area to read the answers. Thank you for your time. Gentlemen, what other order of business we have? I keep making notes. That's what I talked about. I'm going to give that to her. I'm going to talk to her directly now. Yeah.
Mike, you going to address this?
That's what I talked about. I'll address that personally.
Okay.
The next meeting, there's a vacation schedule problem. Next meeting.
Yeah, I asked if the meeting could be moved to the 28th. Same time, 2:30.
So instead of being on the 21st, it'll be on the we'll move it the following week, the 28th. July 28th. Joe, it's good?
Yep.
Okay, at 2:30. Okay. Move to adjourn?
So move.
Next meeting, July 28th at 2:30.